welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder as we keep working our way through the native commanders. Excuse me. Today we have an interesting one in Don Pedro. So he's a 20-pointer and specifically for the Darren faction or sub-faction, and does come just with a strict weapon loadout. There's no options here, so a firelock musket and a standard melee weapon, and a very good set of stats here. So 12-inch command range is always going to be more than good enough. That's fantastic. 2 command points. Wouldn't really expect the third given the point cost there, but 12 and 2 is more than serviceable. And then comes with a couple of special rules. So the first one that we're going to take a look at is Great Warrior, and that's the one where we can essentially upgrade his unit. Each model, I think it was like the 1 point there, and then basically they can get a bonus on different tests that they take, like once per turn, getting ideally better at like shooting or fighting. So really, depending on the unit that we put them in, can be quite formidable. So, and that's been a theme here running through these native commanders. They're very much like in the thick of the fighting, basically, and can really make some already good units in good situations even better. Inspiring, we've seen over and over again, right? Probably one of the most common commander abilities, and just helps us stay in the fight with improving our chance to rally, basically, and really optimizing that. Again, the longer we keep the force in the fight and ideally functioning, the more we have a chance to win, right? Couple of other abilities here. So, and also just to point out, for a 20-point character, we've got 5 abilities here, although some of them really, again, are situational. So we'll start with the unique one here that I think this is the first time we've seen it, multilingual, and that's really an ability for the army scale. So unless we're playing a huge game, really won't come into play. But basically, allied units of other nationalities in this force, the Darien force, don't gain the foreign allies special rule, which is actually a downside. So, I mean, as far as like it's good that we don't get that. The foreign allies rule states, and again, that army scale, this unit may only receive command points from the commander of this unit's company. So in a multiplayer game, that could cause a little bit of issues there if we got forces of different nationalities going and sort of fighting together. But here with multilingual, basically we're eliminating the communication problem. So actually pretty cool to have that. Tough, we've seen a fair few times, but more so here now on these native commanders. Again, another theme, but basically just another great one aimed at keeping the force in the fight. So if this unit ends in activation with any amount of fatigue and it didn't push or gain fatigue during the activation, we can remove a point of fatigue at the end of that activation. So really good stuff there. Just to, again, keep us in the fight longer. And if we can position things right, maybe get a little bit of like shooting action or something like that, we're not otherwise getting fatigued, then here we go. Free removal. And again, if we can have tough trigger multiple times throughout the battle, again, ideally the force is staying in the fight longer and longer. And, that's helping keep his unit up and running as much as possible, assuming we're not actually taking casualties. But then we can spread our inspiring around to also help with removing fatigue, right, in the form of rallying. Now, the last one, again, is super situational, and that's Vendetta against the Spanish. So basically, when fighting against a force of the listed nationality, this force may reroll 1 failed die in a rally test. So yet more geared towards basically staying in the fight all throughout the match if we're fighting against the Spanish. So very good. Again, helps optimize the stats that we have and really ties in well with everything else we can do, right? So if we're fighting the Spanish, we got that kicking in. We got tough, inspiring, very thematic too in a large game, right? We have all that going on to keep this multinational, multilingual coalition together, and then multilinguals helping with things as well. So really neat set of abilities here. And again, quite the package of those abilities, 5 of those in a 20-point character, although again, 2 of them situational, right? 1 for fighting the Spanish, 1 for army scale games. But it gives you, something to consider. Maybe building and playing a very large native force would look impressive on the table and worth giving a try. Let us know, guys, if you have run Don Pedro in your native force, specifically the Darren faction, and how that's gone for you. Do you feel like he's worth the points, and how has he performed for you? And have you made good use of his abilities? Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe. We'll have more Blood and Plunder for you very soon.